Good morning, Flosstube. Welcome back. My name is Stuart. This is Sunday the 12th of October, and this is Flosstube number 45 on Stuarts and Stitches. Here we are, nearly mid-October. Who can believe it? The month is, as usual, is flying past. So it's sort of grey out there this morning. We've had a bit dampness overnight. The ground looks a bit wet underfoot, but it's dry at the moment, and there's a wee bit of brightness. I'm hopeful for it clearing later. I might get out from a wander along the path at the back of the house. Plug in my earbuds, listen to my book, and get some steps in. Always good. As it's the mens sana, corporis sana, mens sana. Healthy body, healthy mind. Well. In the recesses of my mind, people might not consider so healthy. However, there we are. That's a story for another day and for a therapist at some point. Oh, God forbid. I don't know who would need therapy after that. Anyway, oh my God, we're digressing already. So, welcome. It's lovely to be with you all again. I hope you've had a good stitchy week. Mine hasn't been too bad. I've got quite a lot of stitching in. I managed to stitch, looking at my diary here, I've been in stitching all day, I wish. Every day this week, which is a good thing. And 2 or 3 projects a day between my temperature stitching, frost and velvet, and whatever else. I'll try saying frost and velvet again, because my teeth seem to have gone temporarily AWOL during that word. Anyway, we seem to be back now. Right, so welcome to all of you who turn up every week without fail. It's lovely to spend some time with you, share what I'm working on and what's been going on, and hear back from you in the comments what you're working on, what's been going on, anything else you want to share, ask, talk about in the comments. To my new subscribers, welcome aboard. Thank you so much for joining us. You're very welcome here. I hope you continue to enjoy what I'm sharing. And to any who have stumbled across the channel thinking, what's going on here? It's a channel all about cross stitch. Well, mostly all about cross stitch. I do chuck in a wee bit of knitting and crochet here and there. Maybe a book I've been listening to or reading. All the good stuff in life. We are talking a wee bit about crochet today towards the end. Just a quick update on my big blanket I'm working on. I thought I'd bring it upstairs and show you, since I've picked it up again to work on. What else is there? Pause for thought. Email, Instagram, TikTok, all the ways you can get in touch with me. Email stuartsandstitches@gmail.com. You'll also find me on Instagram under Stuarts and Stitches, and I'm now on TikTok. Who would have thought? Look at this, I'm getting in with the modern tech. I usually post my temperature stitching on Instagram and TikTok, which is proving to be quite popular actually. I'm pleasantly surprised. So I'll put the links to those in the box below, and you can go and get in touch with me over any of those mediums that you would wish to. It was lovely to hear from you, always is. I do enjoy the comments, so thank you for taking time to comment on my previous video and videos. It's always welcome, always great fun to read them. So keep it up. I'm always interested to know what you're working on. There's always such a great variety. Right, what are we talking about today? We have whips. I'm just looking at my agenda, my run plan. We have whips. It's just the usual, really. Whips. Well, a bit of stitch of kindness, which is lovely and very unexpected. We've got some more charts to have a look at, a wee bit of plans, and I think that should see us through about half an hour to 40 minutes, hopefully. What else to tell you before we get into the meat of the content? I don't think there's anything else really at the moment. I'm sure things will come up as we go on. They always do. So let's start with the temperature stitching, shall we? So my temperature stitching, I have 10 projects. I have assigned 0 to 9. Duh. And each day I look at the BBC weather app and look at the high for that day and take the last digit of what that high might be. So today, for example, is 15, so 5 for me is Fall Fairy, which is what I will be stitching on later this morning for 100 odd stitches. I generally do 100 stitches into a project. That can be 110 to 100 full cross, 100 whatever. It's 100 roughly is my goal. And I will do that each time it comes out until I'm either scunnered with the piece, thinking it's going away to be replaced, or I get the piece finished, or I come to a logical stopping point. Logical being logical in my mind to the project. And I started this in January this year, having been influenced by Jen, the caffeinated crafter, on what she was doing at that point. And I've loved it. It's been so good. I've got so much progress on so many pieces that I probably would not have touched this year. I keep saying 100 stitches doesn't sound a lot, but 100 stitches built up cumulatively is very impressive. You do get a good outcome. At some point I really must trawl back through my photographs. Oh, there's a daunting thought. And find from when I started taking them at this. I don't think I did it immediately at the start of the year, but certainly after the first month or so I was taking photos. I really should go back and find them and start showing you the progress I've made over the year so far on these projects. Some of them have been out for a year, others have only come into it over the past months as I settle into how I'm doing it. So enough of the blethering, let's get to the stitching. So first up, this is proving to be quite a favourite for some reason. I really don't understand why this one intrigues people so much, however. It's Tom of Finland, my naughty stitching, as you will see. Well, you won't see actually. There's a very good reason this owl lives where he does. Very strategically placed. He doesn't judge when he looks at you. Honestly, he doesn't. There is no judgment. So I'm stitching this piece on 28 count even weave fabric, which I've lost the label for this years ago, but I'm fairly sure it's one of Stephanie's, hand-dyed by Stephanie. I'm doing it 2/2 with the called for threads. It's all fairly monochrome. It's blacks and greys basically, and lots of 3865. And it's looking good. We've got, what have we done this week? Well, you might as well see actually. Here we are, let me bring that in. So we finished off his face along here. We've got a bit more of his bicep going on, and his kind of shoulder coming down, a bit of his pec coming in. So it's looking very good. I mean, for only about 6 or 7 colours, it is an incredible effect. And we have the owl, who is watching and preserving everyone's modesty. And we've got threads hanging down. Let's just take them over there. There we go, that's better. So this is based on a series of artwork by Tom of Finland, about a sailor who gets shipwrecked and is taken care of by the island resident. I'll leave you to imagine the taken care of. And seems to be getting rather well looked after, I would say. So there we are. Shipwrecked, part 2. One or two people have asked about the charts for these. They are unavailable now, apart from a really good dig around in the secondary market, I think, which is what's required, because the company in Australia that did them no longer, I don't think it's trading any longer, sadly, so they are unavailable, brand new. So it's a case of getting onto the internet and having a bit of a dig around if you're looking for those charts and kits. I mean, they're easy enough, if you can find the charts, they're easy enough to kit up. It's about 7 DMCs, so there's no great hardship. And they're not big, so you don't get a huge piece of fabric. I think I'll probably get 2 on there, so I've got another one to do after this. Well, I think I've got another 2 or 3 to do, actually. If I can find them, they are somewhere in the other room. Somewhere being the operative word. Right, so Tom came out twice. 1, 2, yes, he came out twice. Because it's of a chart, it's not in Pattern Keeper, I don't count that one. I generally just stitch on it for an hour, which I feel gives me roughly about 100 stitches, give or take. So progress is progress, as they say. Always forward. Right, next up is Fall Fairy. I feel I'm short of a piece. Oh no, I'm not. It's because I see what it is. It's all right. I was looking, thinking, I feel I should have another piece because there's only 4 came out this week because 2 or 3 of them got repeated. The temperature up here just now seems to be fairly not static, but it's kind of hovering around the same area just now, so there's no great fluctuations, which is quite good. I got a lot of progress in some pieces. So the next one is Fall Fairy from Dimensions. That one day will look like this. It's a well-known, lovely project. I'm up over here somewhere. Pen out of the way. Right, so let's see where we are. So I've been working on lots of blue. I'll just get it folded up a bit. Let's see. There we go. The fabric around the edge is just some calico I stitched to it so as I can get it into my Q-snaps without being at the edge of the project. Makes it easier to work on. I get to the cord, get to the sides. So here's where we are. Ooh, itchy nose. Is that what they call the Flosstube nose? So I was up working on here. Yesterday I got this circle of the pale gold yellow done. And all this blue along here, which is always good. I'm just going to pause a second. I forgot to put this on airplane mode, so I'm getting distracted by notifications coming in. Hang on. And we're back. Back on airplane mode is now on. I'm always scared if something happens and it stops recording and I don't notice it's stopped. Because if that ever happened, well, that's that video done for the day. Right, so yeah, I was working up here in this blue section. It's coming along nicely. This came out for 2 days this week, I think. Yes, it did. It came out Thursday and yesterday. There was 15. So I got 103, and then yesterday I got 170 odd. So I had 270 odd stitches this week, give or take, which is good progress. Mostly 10 stitch. But it's coming along nicely. So I'll just keep plugging away. And this has been stitching all the called for bits and pieces with it. So a 16 count dove Ada, dove grey Ada, and all the called for threads, and stitched as the chart calls for. And you know what dimension kits are like. It's 10 stitch, cross stitch, up stitch, down stitch in my lady's chamber, and all the good stuff. With various numbers of threads. But I've discovered the trick is to use bigger needles sometimes. When you've got 6 strands through your needle and you're trying to get through the fabric, a bigger needle with a bigger eye does help. Saves the wrists, let me tell you. So that was Fall Fairy. She came out twice, and she's coming back out today actually. I've just put her back in the box, but it's easy to get back out. So, what's next? Next we have Blue Moon Angel from Lavender and Lace. So this has been stitched in a piece of 32 count even weave. I got this as a kit years ago from, I don't know if you remember So and So, an amazing online shop in the UK that sadly has ceased to be. Well, it ceased to be a long time ago now. I don't know, 10 years maybe. Is that as long as that? Maybe 2025, 2015? No, maybe not so long ago as that. Maybe 6 or 7 years ago. Because we just moved out here not long after 10, not long before 10 years. We've been out here now 12 years. We've been living outside, living here, having moved out of Edinburgh. Where I discovered last night on Instagram, Brenda from Brenda and the Serial Starter is on holiday this week. Who'd have thought? Famous people in Edinburgh. Or famous Flosstubers in Edinburgh. Or famous to me anyway, somebody I watch regularly. Right, anyway, we digress. Here we go. So this is Blue Moon Angel. I decided to do the face. No, I can't even get it. Let's go this way, Stuart. Use your left hand. So I did the face, and I did it 1/1 because originally, at some point in the dim and distant past, I did the hand 1/1. So, oh well, I've made that cross for my back. So let's just continue. So I did the face. Fortunately, there's no much skin in the face, and this one's all hair. So there's lots of tiny wee 1/1 stitches on 32 count. But there you go, bring it in, you can get the gist of what's going on there. It actually looks not bad in the camera when I see it. So that's been stitched and everything that came with the kit. So all the DMC, and it's looking not bad at all. Coming along nice. I love the blue in our dress here, of which there's to be a lot more yet. The moon's a bit tedious. That's why I'm taking a break because I was getting fed up. So that's Blue Moon Angel. And that came out twice for an hour each time. That came out on Wednesday. I think it came out last Sunday as well. Yes, it did. So that was a temperature stitching for the week. Only 3 pieces. But I did my temperature stitching every day, which has been unusual of late. Because I usually... Oh no, not finished temperature stitching, sorry. There is one more. We've got the one that's like a napkin ring. This is Supernatural from the Witchy Stitcher, a stitch along that came out some years ago. So I picked this up at the start. I thought I'll get the border finished, and I did. Oh, I did. I was so pleased. Right, so this week I've started working on an inside border. It's not about borders. It really is in this piece. However, so here's where we are. I finished off the first wee creature, supernatural creature, which is going to be a ghost. So when this comes out again, I'll be filling in whatever's in the middle of this box, whatever this ghost looks like. But the wee border is done, the border all met up, and we've had the infill at the side done, this wee pop of colour here. And it's looking not bad at all. I'm very happy with how that looks. So that came out on Monday, so Monday must have been 16, so 6 is supernatural. And I basically did, whatever was required to finish all along the border, because I know I was kind of coming up to the top on one side, so I figured, oh, well, I'm just going to do along the top and got that all finished and done. And I did, and it looks rather nice. I'm very happy with how that turned out. So this has been stitched in a piece of extra design fabric. Oh, I have the label here. It just lives in my desk. Actually, 32 count Belfast linen called Old Mushroom. And I'm very pleased with how that's coming along. I don't know if you want to see the lot of it or not, but you might as well. So there's I love the font at the top. I love the top part with the candles and what have you. And the light keeps doing funny things. There we go. It's quite a big piece. That's a very big piece. Coming along nicely. Yeah. I have no idea what the temperatures look like this week. I just take it as it comes day by day. And we'll see what happens then. Oh, see, I've gone dark a wee bit. I'm trying to perk up. Is it gonna... There we go. As if by magic. Right, where's the ring gone? Where's the ring? Here we are. I really must put this in a bag. I've dropped something. What did I drop? Oh my. Right, so that can go there. Excuse me a second. Enjoy the shiny forehead. Right. So that was that. That's my temperature stitching for the week. That's not a bad week's worth of temperature stitching. So the other piece I do on a daily basis just now is a full coverage piece. I'm just switching off my tablet. Called Frost and Velvet from Stitches So Beautiful. And the artwork was by Mystic Vision Gallery. This piece is max size in colour, which means, as I open up here, it's 600 by 600, so it's not Heaven and Earth Design super size, but it's sufficiently big to give you plenty of detail. And it's got 176 colours, so the colour palette is comprehensive. I think it'll be absolutely stunning. I'm very pleased with how it's coming along so far. Now you may be asking, why am I stitching this every day? And I am so pleased you did. Always makes me happy that. The reason I'm doing this every day is because our friend Andrew, the runner stitcher, is training for a marathon. This is his second bout of training this year. He started training in May, so he's running May to September. I'm not going down that rabbit hole like I did last week. But he did his training May to September, but unfortunately due to unforeseen circumstances, he wasn't able to run the marathon he was training for, which is a great shame because it was a Sydney Marathon in Australia and Andrews lives in New York. However, not to be defeated, he decided he would continue the training and do the New York Marathon instead at the start of November. So we are continuing on with his challenge, and his challenge was called Whip into Shape. Pick a whip and work on that every day when he's training. His thesis for it was you would do 10 stitches for every mile he runs during his training, or if you're not a counter, then stitch for as long as it takes him to complete his training that day, or you can save up to the end of the week and just do a cumulative equivalent. I decided to do 100 stitches every day that he trained. So I did Saga from May to September and made tremendous progress in that. I mean, again, 100 stitches a day, you would not believe the progress you get. So I did Saga, and I finished one of the big arches along the bottom row. If you know Saga, you'll know that's huge. And I think I must have done about 10,000 stitches on that to finish that. And then I fancied a change. I was sagged out. So I went on to a full coverage, Frost and Velvet. It's the first chart I've stitched from Stitches So Beautiful, and I love it. Anyway, I might as well show you what it's going to look like, because you haven't seen it yet, have you? Yeah, let's have a look. Where are we? Where are we? Aye, there he is. View markup, and there's what he looks like. So I'm down, as usual, I'm down here somewhere. So it's a glorious Santa. I mean, the cape and the hood is just amazing. So, that got a few stitches this week. Now, Andrew generally trades about 5 days a week. Yesterday was his long ride, 20 miles yesterday, that boy in New York. 20 miles. Aye, well. And we have now breached the 1% mark. We're over 1%, which is great. We have 4,244 stitches completed out of 360,000, giving 1.18% progress. Now, what does that actually mean? It means I've done whatever I said there, 4,000 odd stitches. But it looks like this. Excuse me. So we've got a bit of the blue of the path in the background. We've got the ermine trim and the kind of shadow inside his sleeve here. These are the knuckles of his hand as it's wrapped around his crook. A nod to Santa being Nicholas, who was Bishop of Smyrna many centuries ago. And that's how it's looking. So this has been stitched 1/1 full cross on a piece of 28 count gridded even weave using CXC threads, and the coverage is amazing, especially in these dark colours. So I'm doing this cross country. I'm just working it along row by row. As I pick a thread, I work it along here, and then I just go up till the thread runs out. And we're doing that page by page. Although I'll be trying hard not to have firm page ends. So bring that in, let you get a better look. I'm really pleased how that's coming on. I love how this ermine trim is looking. I'm saying ermine, I've no idea if that's what it makes me think it is. And the detail as well to get these knuckles coming in is lovely. I'm very impressed. I'm very pleased. So that's Frost and Velvet from Stitches So Beautiful. I'm very happy with that. Right, what else did we work on? Oh, I've probably got a picture of this somewhere as well. I'll try and put pictures in. If I have a clear picture to show you, they'll be either perched on one of my shoulders. Right, this one is in my OneDrive because it's not pattern keepered. Right, where are we? So this is a Halloween piece by Doreen Jones. Let's just get it within the frame. There we go. Yeah, is that what it looks like? It does bear a passing resemblance to what I've got in front of me on my fabric here. So it's called 'Tis the Season to be Spooky. It's come out in 2024, so last year. Lovely Halloween piece, isn't it? Quite fun. Lots going on. And you'll see where I am on it very shortly. So I started this last year with Amanda Alba Stitcher. We both had it. There we go. A little less reflection going on now. We both started this last year. It's more a start along as opposed to a stitch along, which makes much more sense for me because of the pieces I work on. A stitch along is really not practical, and generally it's more start along. I'll start anything with anybody in general if I can fit it into my plans for that week's stitching. I don't know why my tablet suddenly did some in there. Go away. Right, better, we're sorted. Technology. Anyway, so I'm stitching this in a piece of 28 count sparkles fabric, which is nameless. Kate doesn't name her fabrics, but she does beautiful fabrics. And I got quite a lot done last week, so let's see what we've got. Here's where we are. I love this lettering. See this kind of the orange with the black outline. I think that is amazing how that's looking. So this week what we did was we did this vine plant thing going up here on the side, and there's some back stitching going on, which doesn't look too bad. It's clearer in real life than it is on camera. So we did that. We did something similar over here. I don't think we've done the back stitch yet, but we've done the kind of greenery. I think last week I had done this bar across the top, and mostly this week I've been concentrating on the lettering. And there's quite a lot of stitching in that lettering, as you can imagine. By the time you do the stitching and then do the black outlining as well, and it's not backstitching outside, it's actually full cross as well. So last night, yesterday and last night I did the K and the Y, and today my plan is, well today probably tomorrow as well, is I just do the black outlining of these, and then it's probably going to go away, because I've been working on that for a couple of weeks by that point, and 2 weeks kind of seems to be my limit before I think, itching for a wee change. So I am very pleased with how that's coming on. I love that lettering. It's so good. And this chart, Doreen Jones' charts are very, very reasonable. This is only a £5 an essay. Can you believe that? £5. And it's such a big design. Love it, love it, love it. Right. Back in the Lowry. I don't mind putting the Lowry because Full Fairy will be going on there later. It's up first today. Frost and Velvet's not today because Andrew's having a rest day today. We learned after 20 miles running yesterday. Madness, total madness. Right, I had a new start this week. I was itching for a wee bit of full coverage new start, so I scratched the itch. Never a thread hanging from me. Story of my life. You walk around, you suddenly think, where'd that come from? You've got threads. And see if we're on the sewing machine. I come off there, I'm just covered in thread. I don't know how I do it. It's like a thread magnet. Right, let's find what we worked on here. So I wanted to revisit doing some tent stitch, having watched Kim last Sunday, Kim the Spartan Stitcher, having watched Jen and Catherine, and all the marvellous pieces they work on that are done tent stitch, and it just looks tremendous. I used to do tent stitch now and again, and then I can switch back to full cross, but I'd love to see some progress in some pieces, and tent stitch seems to be the only way to do it. Or it would appear to be, so we shall find out. Proof will be in the pudding. So the piece I picked up that I had kitted up was California Dreaming by Jeff Hayes, or Jeff Haynes, I'll tell you in a second. But there's the piece there. So I'm doing down here, of course, and this little pink thing, this life, it's either a pink donut, I think it's more a pink life belt, let's be honest. California Dreaming, lovely, lovely colours in it. Great fun. What's going on? Who was the artist? Review PDF. Jeff Haney. It's regular, 700 by 501 with 90 colours. I think Jen's doing this one, but she's doing a max colour because she's Jen. She does that kind of thing. And this week, on doing tent stitch, I got, and this is only over the course of a day. I started it one evening and then I worked into it the following day. I got 1,093 tent stitches done out of 350,700, giving me 0.31%, which I thought wasn't bad for just a day, you know. And it's looking very good. So I'm doing this on 28 count, 2/1 tent stitch, using CXC threads. And here's where we got to. I'm very pleased with how that's looking. So this nice dark bit here. Partly that it's much other thing is because it's fairly blocky at this point. Lots of kind of this pink colour going on. And again, doing it cross country, going wherever the thread takes me within this page. And I was very pleased how that looked and turned out. So that was encouraging, shall we say. It was very encouraging. So we'll continue with that at some point. So that was the other stitching that happened this week. So that in general is all the stitching that took place this week. Hang on to this setup before it falls. I'll just sit up here for. Hang on, I'm getting into a fankle. Right. Against the trolley. That'll do. What was in my mind to tell you there or do? Oh, there's something else I want to show you, but I need to load it into a parent keeper first. I've been thinking about Stitch With Me's, and I found an ideal piece that I could do for it, but that doesn't require too much thinking. It means I can rabbit, as they say. Let me just start that loading in, and we'll come to that. We'll talk about that in a minute. Right, what was next? Stitchy Kindness. So the letterbox rattled on Friday as something slid through it. I wasn't expecting any mail, nothing at all. There was not much haul I don't think there was haul this week, full stop. So I went downstairs and there was a package there addressed to me, and I'm looking at thinking, what's this? I'm not expecting anything. I opened it, and lo and behold, a lovely scissor fob. A wee snowflake at the top, nice stars, and a lobster claw to attach to my scissors. I was very pleasantly surprised with that. Couldn't believe it. I thought, well, what's this? Who sent me this? So fortunately there was a card inside. Hang on, my parent keeper is waking up. There we go. Which gave me the clues to where it came from. And it was my friend Pauline at So Be Stitchery and So Be Bags. Pauline does the most amazing bags. She did a bag drop, I think, there on Friday on Instagram. If you follow her on Instagram, this is a card. I think they're switching to from So Be Bags to So Be Stitchery. Because there's Etsy, there's a Ko-fi as well. So I'll put that there. You can maybe screen grab and go and have a wee prowl. She does lovely bags. There was a nice lace trim on them, a nice zip fastening, and a zip pull on it as well. So very well made, and I would heartily endorse her products. I was very pleased. This is lovely to receive. That brought a smile to my face, so that I can go onto my scissors. I like my scissor bling. Can you tell? Hang on, let's just get this on. Oops. Get the lobster claw sorted out. There we go. Now we can join the family. There's all sorts on here. Right. So that was a lovely, unexpected piece of Stitchy kindness. So thank you, Pauline. That was much appreciated. Right. Charts. Charts seem to be popular. I wasn't sure how this section would go. I wasn't sure if this would be boring just looking at charts, but it seems to be a thing to do. And now I know why I thought I had Winter Queen. Because I do have Winter Queen. She's looking at me just now when I was talking about Summer Queen last week. So we've got the rest of the mirrors, and then there's a couple else I've came in with it when I lifted them out, so I thought, well, I'll just bring them through and show you. So let's have a look. Where shall we start? We're going to start with Winter Queen, funnily enough. This is an old mirror from '95. This is number 13. Another lovely one. I love the colours. I think this is a popular one. I'm not sure if this one's out of print or not. I don't know, but anyway, I've got it, so I don't really mind. I do like that one. I've got one of the Nora. This is a Nora Corbett now. Oops, what's in here? Oh, there's some threads in here. How does that come to be? Somebody must have been kitting this one up. So this is one of the. This is from the Christmas Eve Couriers, and it's a sleigh, Santa's sleigh. Yes, I've been sort of tempted to collect this lot and stitch them all up, but there's a lot of them. Well, there's all the reindeer plus the sleigh as well. I've seen some of them. I've seen a couple of the reindeer. Now my friend Maureen, Stitchy Mac on here, has done a couple of the reindeer. She brings them out at Christmas and they look stunning. I mean, the bling is beautiful. But so here's the sleigh. A very well packaged sleigh there. I think I might have Rudolph somewhere, I'm not sure. This is an old favourite as well. This is Adia the Garden Fairy. Yes, Adia the Garden Fairy. This is number 41. I do like Nora's older ones. Controversial. I prefer the older ones now to the kind of newer designs that come out, but that's just me. Everybody has their own taste. Where are we? This is from 1998. Adia the Garden Fairy. Another lovely, lovely one. And this one is Bianca Bella, Snow White. This came out just after I picked up Stitching again, so this came out in 2013. And there she is. She's a kind of companion to Red and the Ella the Frog Princess. I've always had ambitions of doing, well, I need to do Red again because I gave Red away once I finished it to one of my mum's friends. She's lovely. And then we have a couple of Nora Corbetts. So this is one of the Pixie Blossoms. This is Zinnia. Well, she was lovely. I enjoyed stitching her. I remember this one. And again, this is given away when it was finished. I love the colours in this. All these purples and kind of deep reds, what have you. Very nice piece. And then one of my all-time favourites is Buttercup. Another Pixie Blossom one. Again, these are kind of more of the old ones. This is 2013. When was Zinnia? 2013. And there she is. Another lovely one. Again, I gave this away when I finished it. But she came out very nicely. I enjoyed stitching that one very much. I probably would stitch that one again, actually. Well, God only knows when. I've struggled to stitch everything I've got without repeating myself. Right, oh, this is some of the kind of witches and things that we're getting next. Let's put these three in order. Let's kind of sort these into a logical sort of order. 2, 9, 4, 5. Oh yes, 2, 9, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is from when Nora switched over, or Wisholt switched over to A4 instead of the envelopes to A4 things. So we've got Claire. This is one of the silhouettes. I think my friend Gail sent me this one together with what I'm going to show you next. Eva Nora. Yes, Eva Nora. So these are rather clever, just as silhouettes. And as I recall, let me just check in the back here. T2, I think they use the exact same thread and bead palette, and I think if I recall correctly, I think one bead pack would probably do both designs. If you were ever thinking, if you've got these and you're thinking of kitting them up, I think you'd probably get away with that because they're not big. Then we have Witching, a rather kind of another louche witch here. I like this one. It's kind of how I used to feel on a Friday. It's kind of would present me with a gin after a hard week's work. I just need to sit back and relax. Don't talk to me for 10 minutes. So that's a fun one. I enjoy stitching everything. We know this. There's not that much in this one to get it up. I could probably rustle that one together if I put my mind to it. And then we have Masked Mischief, which is this kind of green elven one, a bewitching pixie. That's rather fun. Right, so that was us. I think that's all my Noras now. That took, what, 3 weeks to do all my Noras and Miras? It's not bad, I suppose. Next up we have one of my Bella Filipinas. This is one I have done and finished. You have seen it finished. This is Bellatrix. This was my first ever venture into Drin's world. Gorgeous piece. Bit of saucy leg on there. Somebody had suggested in the comments, I thought it was quite a good idea, but I'll float it past you all first, I've shown most of my finishes before, so it's spread out over a period of weeks and months when I first started my Flosstube last year. When somebody was suggesting I show all my finishes that I've got just as a section at the end of one of my videos, I'm happy to do that. I'm always happy to show off my finishes. If that's something you're interested in, let me know. Comments down below, you know the drill. Right. We have a little house needleworks piece next. I have no idea where I got this from. Sleepy Hollow Lodge. I maybe get this at a retreat somewhere. There we go. That's actually quite a good one. I like that. I'd completely forgotten I had this. Sleepy Hollow Lodge. And one of my all-time favourite designers, Teresa Wentzler. You know I love a Teresa Wentzler. And this is Celestial Dragon. Aye. There it is, isn't that amazing? Now, I've seen pictures of this stitched on red fabric. It's jaw-dropping. Can you imagine that on a bright scarlet, well not even scarlet, just a bright red fabric? Absolutely jaw-dropping. There's lots of work in there when I look at that. I'll quite squint at the chart. Yeah, there's lots of tracery. Lots with, I don't know if that's beads inside there. Where's the key? Here's our story. Here's our legend. Yes, that is a lot of beads going on in there. Beads and very careful back stitch in different colours to form that lovely tracery. Anyway, Teresa's Celestial Dragon. I snapped that off eBay some years ago, so that was a good one to get. Very happy with that. So that's all the charts this week. To be continued. There are more charts. Right, I was talking about loading someone into Pattern Keeper, if you remember, before we started this wee section. Hang on just till I verify and say yes, I'm happy. Oops. There we go. So, you know I've mentioned Stitch With Me, so that is to the forefront of my mind as to what I actually might stitch on. So I was looking for something that was easy, and I had a brainwave. It's a full coverage from Heaven and Earth Designs called Alchemy by... Hang on. It's called Alchemy by Gaslight. The artist is... As he holds it up. Artwork by Alchemy Gothic. So they're retired now from Heaven and Earth Designs, and she's now with Sarah, although I think she's retiring from Sarah as well at Pain Free Crafts. Anyway, let's get the mock-up and you'll see what we're talking about. View mock-up. So it's this rather fun piece. And you've probably got a good idea of why I think this would be good for Stitch With Me, because tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of 939. All that dark blue. So I thought to myself, I could probably blether for a wee while doing just stitching that 939, because there's lots of 939. Hang on, I'll tell you how much 939 is, because it's the predominant colour. Where are we? Come here. 131,777 stitches of 939, which makes it look like, oops. So when you, that, there we go, there you can see it. All that green is 939. So I could probably make good inroads in that over a period of time. So I thought that's what I would do, because then what I'll do is, I don't know if you remember it, in the good old days of Flosstube, there used to be tags, get to know your stitcher and things like that. So I thought I might have a wee troll through, stomach rumbled, I don't know if you would have that was picked up. I thought I could use that and then use these tags, and that would give me something to talk to till I get comfortable with the concept and till I see what it looks like. Because I've got a thing, I've got an extendable arm that I can clip my phone onto to hover over my stitching as I stitch. And all you're going to see is me stitching 939. That is going to be so fascinating. And then paint drying would be even more interesting, I fear. But you get the joy of listening to me blether and rabbit, maybe for half an hour or something like that, to see how we go. So I'm going to have a hunt along for the tags. If anybody has any clues to where I might find the tags written out, let me know, please. That would be quite good. I'd be grateful for that. Alright, what else? What are we talking about now? Blanket. Yes, I'll put a picture up here somewhere. What's the time of that? 43 minutes? I thought this was going to be a short one today. I've always been blethering a lot. Right, blanket is at 40. It's coming out to 44 minutes. I'll put a picture in of what the blanket looks like one day. This is from Snake Oil Strumpet, a name I absolutely love. I think that's the most amazing name ever. It's Mosaic crochet. It looks incredibly complicated. It is incredibly easy. And I love this because I love all the colours I've chosen. I'm going to have to go back a wee bit because it's huge. Have I got it the right way around? Where am I working? Oh, here we are. So I'm working this downstairs for a couple of hours in the evening. Usually 2 or 3 rows done. And each row is just one colour. It's just the way it overlays that gives the effect. That's upside down, I think. Here we are. There we go. Right. I'll never get all this in because it's so big. So there's It's called Cowboys and Aliens. It's a mashup of one of the cowboy charts and one of the aliens. I did that, I believe, one some years ago. I don't know where that is. I can't lay my hands on that chart. And that blanket, Carl's hidden it somewhere and refuses to tell me where, I think. So I'm up with this kind of pink bit here. I think I'm going to have to stand up. There we go. I can't go that much further without knocking chairs over. But it's very impressive how it works, isn't it? A very clear picture of what's going on. So I'm just going to scroll up and down as I spread it along. But it's such fun. And it looks really complicated, but it's really easy. There's tons of tutorials on YouTube on how to do this. And it gives a nice thick texture for a blanket. It does get quite heavy. I'm doing this in double knit, style craft double knit, that I got from Wool Warehouse in the UK. And the back, well, there's the back. So it's just lines. Some people do like a negative in the back. I don't know how you do it. And I'm not even going to try and learn how to do that. I'm quite happy with it just being in the front. And see all these ends? Nothing to worry about there. They don't need woven in. You can either trim them and have them as a fringe, or you do a double envelope border all the way around, which encloses them and just adds a bit of body and structure to the blanket, which is what I do in my Mosaic crochet blankets. So I'm very happy with how that's coming along. Right, plans. Anyway, that was that. It's called Cowboys and Aliens. Sorry, something fell. Ooh. Right. That was called Cowboys and Aliens from the Snake Oil Strumpet, which is fabulous. Right, plans next. So what's happening? Right, so temperature stitching will continue as usual, as will frost and velvet. Spooky will probably get another couple of days just to finish off the black, and then something as yet unknown will replace it. I'm not sure what yet. I don't think I'll be doing a stitch with me this week. I'm just kind of gradually getting around to getting it organised because I want to try and make it a good thing if I can. And just have to plan it out in my head before I plunge in. As I say, I need to find some of those tags. I need to write them down so as I can have something to talk to. What else is there? Well, the big thing was the Tartan Retreat takes place next weekend down in Dumfries. So I will be packing stuff into the car on Friday morning and setting off. Dumfries is only about an hour and a half, 2 hours away. I used to live in Dumfries. My mum and dad are both buried in Dumfries. So it is a fair bit of my heart remains in Dumfries. And I'm looking forward to going there. So the retreat itself is taking place at the Crichton, which used to be the... there is no other way of saying this. The Crichton used to be the mental hospital in Dumfries for those patients who required that type of treatment. My mum used to work there. She was a nurse there. The church I went to, Dumfries St John's, had a very close affiliation to the Crichton Church, which is a most beautiful building with the most amazing sounding organ, which I used to play. I was very fortunate to have the opportunity to play in that now and again. I was best man to one of my friends who got married in there. A lovely day out, a lovely wedding and all that good stuff. I have very happy memories of the Crichton. We used to sing there on Christmas Eve. We did a service of 9 lessons and carols. We were a very traditional choir. Scottish Episcopalians were in robes, and the boys had the frilly thing around their necks. We did the service of 9 lessons and carols there. We did stuff during the year as well. I just have lots of happy memories of down there. So I'm really looking forward to going there. So we're staying at the Holiday Inn, and the retreat itself takes place in Easterbrook Hall, which will be good, run by Sarah at Pain Free Crafts, who has a shop in Dumfries in the Vennel. And so I was toying with that. She's given the option of running us in to have a look at the shop. I was toying with the idea, but I thought, well, that's going to be about an hour to an hour and a half away from stitching, and no, that's fine. Much I'd like to see it. I'm there for stitching, so that'll do me fine. I'll be quite happy with that. So that I'm looking forward to. However, the consequence of that is I will not be recording next Sunday because I'll still be in Dumfries. So there'll be no video, no upload next Sunday. However, I will try, I'm making no rash promises, but I will attempt, depending how I get on, to record on Monday and post it on Monday for you. We shall see. If not, we'll be back in 2 weeks' time. But I'll try and get one in between then, just to. Because if I don't do that, I'm going to have too much. The next video will be way too long, too much to show at that point. I've forgotten most of what I want to show as well. So we'll do that. I'm really looking forward to that very much. It's been a wee while since I've been down in Dumfries, since a while since I've been in a retreat. So win-win all the way around. So there's some people I know going there, some from the Scottish Stitching Retreat that I know, and some others. I discovered last night Lynn, the Lancashire Stitcher, is going, which brought a smile to my face. I've never met Lynn in real life, so I'm looking forward to seeing her next week. That'll be nice. And I think that's all the plans. And we're at 50 minutes. We've come to the end, people. We've come to the end. So, thank you. I think that's everything I want to talk about today. It is. There's nothing else lying about. It's screaming at me saying, talk about me, talk about me. Right. So, as usual, get in touch, drop comments below, ask questions. I always like questions. Q&A is always good. Drop a comment, let me know what you've been working on. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Let me know about tags, if you know of anywhere that I could find. What you think about the showing all my finishes I have rolled up on top of a shelf as a section, which I'm more than happy to do. Or I could even do it as a standalone. Quite happy to do that as well. Might be a bit more prominence, as I do like my finishes. I think I have some nice. Well, I'm not sure to say this as me that did them, but I do think I have some nice finishes. Head's growing bigger by the second. I'll never get out the door. And as usual, you can get in touch with me over email, stuartsandstitches@gmail.com. Also on Instagram @stuartsandstitches. You see me post there most days. My temperature stitching, my frost and velvet, and now on TikTok. And under Stuarts and Stitches as well. For those of you who are TikTok aficionados, you can go and find me there. And generally what I'm doing there is showing you, talk a wee bit about the before, take a pause, do my stitching, and then add on what happened to show you what the finished result was for that day. And I think that's it. So happy stitching, everybody. I'll be back, as I say, not next Sunday, but hopefully a week tomorrow, a week on Monday there. And I'll give you an update on my stitching and probably on what happened in Dumfries, which I'm looking forward to. So have a good week, everybody. Happy stitching, and bye-bye. Hi, everyone. Future Stuart here, jumping in, because he forgot to do something in the haul section. So, what did we forget? Well, I just dropped something into it. Well, someone else. It was a Christmas box from Cotton and Twine. So there's what comes inside the box, nicely wrapped up. So let me share with you what goodies are in the box this month. So you open it up. First off, there's the lovely Christmas. This is the October chart for Christmas. This is the October box for Christmas. So you get the nice big clear chart, and this is the design that's in the box. I'll link this below, and there's also a code FIRST15 FIRST15 that you can use if it's your first time to get 15% off, which I will put there as well. Clear instructions inside on what to do and also how to finish it. This one is finished. How is this one finished? I think it's into a flat fold. No, a hanging ornament, as you can see in the front cover if I looked carefully. So that's the design itself, and the lovely chart. Chart's on a big piece of A4. I'm just showing you the reverse. It's a reindeer Christmas tree. It's rather pretty. What else is in the box? Well, you get a nice Christmas ornament. A little hanging angel. Rather pretty. Oops, when she stops rotating, there's a bit of solid weight going on there as well. So it's a fairly substantial one. There's a fabric for the reverse for the finishing. So a nice piece of kind of minty green striped fabric, which is always nice. And then there's Earl Grey tea bag. All comes in a nice paper bag inside as well. And we've got the threads. So these are the threads for it. All nicely sorted, so it's good to go. and a piece of, well, for me it's 32 count linen that comes in the box. So you can get 32 count linen or 16 count Ada, depending on what you prefer. So that's what was in the October box for Christmas design. So if you start stitching that now, you'll have it all finished and ready for Christmas to hang up and display as part of your Christmas decor, or decor, depending which part of the globe you live in. Let me just tidy this away. And there will be a needle floating around somewhere as well, so you get everything you need to start and complete the project, which is really good. So that was it. Well, there was something else in the box. There was a chocolate Santa on a lollipop stick. Yeah, that never saw much beyond the box being open until Carl got his hands on it, and well, it was never seen again. It didn't take it long before he was outside it, if you know what I mean. So once more, there we are, the rainbow Christmas tree from Cotton and Twine. As I say, I'll link this below, and you can go and have a look if you're interested. And it's there is a code to say first 15 if it's your first purchase with them. Right, sorry, I meant to show that today. Just afterwards, when I was talking to Carl, he says, "Did you show the box?" I says, "No, I didn't." So well, I'll do a quick recording and I can insert it in as part of my editing. Okay, back to normal. Bye.